Hey guys, this is Lex here from Bored at Work, and today we're going to do a Cortana versus Siri battle, head to head, pretty much. Now these are competitors. This is Windows Phone is Cortana, and Siri is iPhone and Apple and all that good stuff. Now, Siri hasn't been known for being very well done. I mean, if anything, it's considered to still be in beta, even without the title. Integration isn't as tight, very similar to Google Now, which is one of the main top AIs or voice control assistants with the smartphones today. And with the release of Windows Phone 8.1, Cortana has just been announced, and with all her contextual answers and responses and all those good things, we're going to test her to see how she competes with Siri. The lock screen's off. We're going to see how we access Siri or Cortana, see if they're available to be accessed via the lock screen. And then after that, we're going to see general questions and things like that you ask your neighbor or your friend, things like the weather and such, to see if they can handle the basic of tasks for day-to-day use. So for the iPhone here, we're going to unlock the screen, and then for the Lumia 920 that's running Windows Phone 8.1. Now for iPhone, you hold down Siri. Okay, now she's able to be accessed via the lock screen. That's always convenient. And then for Cortana, we're going to hold her down, and then she is available. So it's very convenient to have.
Sorry, I didn't get
Hush. See, now she thought I was going to ask her a question there. But overall, you can actually access them through the lock screen, so that's always cool. So now we're going to unlock both devices. There you go. And now we're going to ask them day-to-day tasks, starting with Cortana. What's the weather?
It's currently 36 and clear.
Now I'm going to use Siri. Now I'm using them separately because I hate hearing mixed voices with AIs. There's a bunch of parody videos online with that. So we're just going to use them separately just to see how they hear and how fast they handle the search results. So we're going to do Siri now. What's the weather today?
It should be nice today, up to 50 degrees Fahrenheit.
So now they both have very similar cards here. As you can see, they have different temperatures, which is very odd. Maybe they're going by different hours. But Ben Salem 39 degrees and 36 on Cortana. And it's a very card-based UI, which is very cool. Now, one thing that Cortana has that Siri doesn't is ability to type in your answers. With Cortana, you have the ability to use, actually I'm going to move this up here, to use speech and to type in your result. And with iPhone, you don't have that ability. You have to speak to Siri. That kind of does not make sense, especially for a voice assistant that's more advanced to Cortana. Let's say you're in an area you don't want to pretty much have your results read out to you, or you just want to type them and not talk to your phone. You don't have that option, so that's unfortunate, but that's one up on Cortana already. Now, one thing from the screen here you can see is a music button and a tabs button on Cortana. Now, for the tabs button, as you can see here, you have your interests, remind you, quiet hours, inner circle, places, music searches, and settings. Now, when you first start up Cortana, you have the ability to tell her things about you. You know what hours you don't want, the people that you like, and places that you've been. And you can actually use music service or music search like Shazam or all the built-in that's built into Google Now. Okay, guys. Now, looking from the default search screen for Siri and Cortana, you're provided with a list of things you can say for Siri. And then for Cortana, she asks you what she can help you with next. But you're also provided with a voice search bar and a place where you can type your questions if you'd rather not speak to them, like I said previously. But you're also provided with a music search and a tab button up here, which I'm going to click now. Misprint. There you go. As you can see here, I have interests, remind me, quiet hours, inner circle, places, music searches, and settings. Now, when you first set up Cortana, you're provided with things that you might like. She asks you your interest, what times you like to be not bothered, and places that you like and like to eat or like to stay at. Now, this is very cool. She actually adapts to your likes and dislikes according to the searches that you provide over time. As I can see in my results, she's definitely worked that well. And she's only in beta, so that's pretty cool. And then for Siri, you're, like I said again, you're only provided with things you can say. There's no ability to type in answers. She doesn't push information to you. It's very basic, very standard. And for Siri being out longer than Cortana, it's very odd. I don't see why that would be. But Cortana wins, in my opinion, on that selection there. So we're going to ask her basic questions that you would ask a neighbor or a friend and see how they handle them. And then we'll get to the more advanced questions. Who's the president of the United States? Very fast, Barack Obama. No voice answer. There's really no need for a voice answer on that search result, but it was very fast and you got the answers Now we're going to ask Siri. Who's the president of the United States?
Let me have a look.
Here she goes.
The answer is Barack Hussein Obama, too.
Okay, well, she gave me more information based on his life, which I didn't ask for, but I guess it's cool. But I just wanted to know who the president's name was, and she actually waited a second. She just let me find out. So as you can see here, iOS not having its own search engine really affects the speed of search results. With Bing, it's in the system. It utilizes their servers, and bam, it's there. I'm pretty sure it accessed the web, and then you got your answer, and then it pushed it to you. So I'm definitely giving it to Cortana on that one. I didn't ask for all the information, but I guess you want to seem like a smartass, then go right ahead with Siri. Now I'm going to ask you another question. What was the score of the Texas Rangers game? No voice, just a list of the score. Today was 3-2. Okay. Now we're going to do here. What was the score of the Texas Rangers game?
The Rangers edged the Mariners by a score of 8-6 today.
Okay, now that's something to keep in mind. Now Siri definitely won on this one. For some reason, there's no score for tonight's game on Bing. Very odd. But on Siri, she has a current 6-8 score. It did versus the Mariners tonight. And the date is actually missing completely from the search results of Bing. So Siri just asked Cortana on that one. Very odd. Now we're going to ask her one more basic question. What time is it in Japan? Took a little bit longer on that search result. They're both on Wi-Fi networks, so data speeds really shouldn't be an issue. But she gave it to you, no voice feedback, just 12:24. And we're going to ask Siri. What time is it in Japan?
In Tokyo, Japan, it's 12:25 p.m.
Voice feedback, again with Siri, which is, I guess, very convenient if you don't want to read. But Tokyo gives you a little widget clock thing, which is very nice to have. And it's very beautiful, very aesthetically designed for iOS 7. So I'm going to give it to Siri on this one. Even though it was maybe a little bit slower on iOS, or maybe they had the same speeds, I really can't tell. She told you, and she gave you a card, so that's cool. And she even tells you how many hours ahead they are in terms of Siri for when you exit time, so that's cool. Getting into the more advanced questions, we're going to start with Cortana again. And the big thing about Cortana that was emphasized heavily during the press conference a couple weeks ago was that contextual answers and questions can be utilized with Cortana. And for being a beta and version 1, pretty much, that's pretty cool to see. We're going to see how that works with both Cortana, and I'm pretty sure Siri can do basic tasks very similar to that, so we're going to pair them and see how they go. Remind me to text Reggie at 5 p.m.
Sure. I'll remind you to text Reggie at 5 p.m. tomorrow. Sound good?
Yes.
Sure thing.
So that was fast, very simple. Really didn't have any issues with that, and now we're going to do it with Siri. Remind me to text Reggie tomorrow at 5 p.m.
Here's your reminder for tomorrow at 5 p.m. Shall I create it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll remind you.
So, bam, Cortana and Siri were definitely neck to neck on that one. They're definitely making it hard for the everyday user to see who's better. But that's what you would really see as contextual, telling the system to do something and them doing it and then actually having an action later. So that's pretty cool to have, and I'm actually going to ask another question to see how they do. Next time I talk to my dad, remind me to tell him about Carmelo.
Sure. Next time you talk to Dad, I can remind you to tell him about From Low.
Alright, well,
Sound good?
yes.
Got it.
Okay, well, Cortana, she got my dad right, but she not get what I said right. If you guys don't know, Carmelo is my dog, golden retriever, very cute, best dog in the world. But at the same time, Cortana did not get it right. We're going to ask Siri now and see how she does. Tell my dad about Carmelo tomorrow.
ready to send it?
Well, it ain't Carmelo, right? But I'm definitely giving it to... Oh, yes. Sorry. Yikes.
I don't know what you mean by what incremental, right? But I'm definitely giving it to Oya Sarge. Would you like to send, cancel, review, or change it?
Cancel.
Okay, I won't send it.
Okay, now I totally botched that on Siri, so I'm actually going to try it again. Had a little mind gap, so I'm going to try to ask her what I asked Cortana. Remind me to tell my dad about Carmelo tomorrow.
You only have one reminder that's due tomorrow.
Okay, so Siri's really not getting what I'm saying. I did botch it the first time, but the second time she didn't get it at all. I'm actually going to try it one more time just to give Siri another chance. Next time I talk to my father, remind me about Carmelo.
Here's your reminder. Shall I create it?
Okay, so, no.
Okay then.
No. Okay, so Siri is really frustrating me right now. She's not working, so even though Cortana didn't get it right, she got the whole consistency of reminding me next time I talk to my dad. That's the main point here. When you ask Cortana to ask her something, she really can tell who you're talking to and bring up what you reminded her about them to the forefront. So next time I'm on a phone call with my father, Cortana will actually show up in a dialer notification and do that. So I'm actually going to call my dad now. Oh, there we go. As you can see there's a notification telling him about it. I'm going to end the call so my dad doesn't wake up. I think he's sleeping right now. But pretty much you can see there was telling him to about what I was going to if she got my search results right. So that's very cool. She actually shows up throughout the operating system with search results like that. And Siri really can't compete on that level. Siri's really kept to the search engine part of the operating system and not ubiquitous throughout the operating system. We're going to try one more contextual type of question to see how they do. What I'm going to do now is ask both Cortana and Siri about Dunkin' Donuts. I love Dunkin' Donuts. Hopefully you do. And we're going to go from there. Dunkin' Donuts.
Pausing. I'm sorry. There's no music in the queue.
All right, now she definitely failed in that one. I'm going to give her one more chance to see how she does. Dunkin' Donuts. Now, the cool thing about Cortana is she actually knows what's the first and second one. Okay, so if I say call the second one or the third one, she'll actually do that. So let's see if she works. Call the second number.
Sure. Who do you want to call?
All right, well, she failed on that. Now, in the actual press conference, they showed Cortana calling the numbered one. Now, this is the beta version, so that may not be able to be utilized via the phone now. So let's not completely not give that to Cortana, but she didn't work, so let's try Siri. Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay, one of these restaurants matching Dunkin' Donuts looks fairly close to you.
Okay, now she gave me a list very similar to Cortana. Now I'm going to ask her to call which one? Call the second one.
Calling Dunkin' Donuts.
Bam. So Siri got her on that one. Very quick, very swift. Now I'm going to end that call. So that was what Cortana was supposed to do. She did not do it. So I'm going to give that to Siri. She won hands down. So now we're going to go to other parts of the operating system to see who pretty much finishes this bout hands down. Okay, so now what we're going to do now is ask both Cortana and Siri very fun questions. I mean, people love to toy around with Siri, ask her questions about life and whether they love them or not. Very lonely lives they seem to have. But we're also going to do it with Cortana to see if she responds very similar like and pretty much see how much conversation you can have with Cortana and Siri. Who's your father?
Technically speaking, that'd be Bill Gates. No big deal.
Okay, so that's cool. I mean, everyone knows Bill Gates, Microsoft, Cortana, Microsoft on his phone. It all comes together. So that's cool to have. I mean, they actually showcased this during the press conference, so that's why I asked. I'm going to ask Siri a very similar question. Who made you, Siri?
Siri, was designed by Apple in California.
Ooh, well, thank you. And that was, I feel as if Siri got her on that one. She actually defined who it actually was. Bill Gates really didn't create Cortana, so that's just a fun little thing to do. But they both can respond in very savvy ways. Let's ask Siri about what she thinks about Cortana. What do you think about Cortana, Siri?
I think, therefore I am. But let's not put the cart before the horse.
I don't really get that answer, so I'm just gonna disregard it. What do you think about Siri, Cortana? Alright, well, she didn't even respond. She gave me a web search result, so I'm gonna give it to Siri. I feel as if they should have baked that into the operating system and respond when you ask about Siri. I'm gonna ask her one more question. What do you think about the status of the world today, Cortana? Okay, no answer. I'm very deep, very philosophic, so it's a very odd question, I know, but I like to see how they can respond. I'm going to ask Siri the same thing. What do you think about the status of the world today, Siri?
I suppose it's possible.
Doesn't quite make sense, but again, I'm going to give it to Siri for just responding to me. So in terms of interaction, it seems that Siri and Cortana are very different. I mean, Cortana can give you answers, but it is version 1 and it's beta, so I'm not going to put that on there. But just in the status of right now, Siri responds to you better. She does have more accuracy with contextual answers. Some not, some are. And with Cortana, for being version 1 and beta, you really can't complain for her usage, and it adds a level of usability to Windows Phone that was much needed. Now, I would definitely say that Cortana is ahead of the curve just because it's version 1. Siri's been out for a while, and she really should be more advanced in pushing information to you and basic questions and answers, and knowing when to speak and when not to speak. And letting me have the ability to type with Siri would be very convenient. I mean, we're not all trying to hear and talk to our phones in public. I know that's very weird sometimes for people. So, in the battle, I'm not going to state a winner. I'll let you guys decide. Comment in the sections below. Be sure to like, share, favorite the video. Press that subscribe button if you haven't already. And remember to always enjoy your entertainment. Thanks, guys.